this is a good spot for a beacon here because next to this little squid that seems like he's very critical of everything you're doing. But yeah, the beacons there are pretty helpful because they can allow you to jump up and get down. There we go. And there's a third one. There we are. Hey guys, it's Adam aka Swimming Bird, and welcome to Splatoon. With a powerful Kraken special and squid beacons to help out the team, the Octobrush is already my top candidate for favorite weapon, so I wanted to give this little bristle its very own episode for the Inkbrush versus Octobrush comparison. And I also wanted to start by thanking you guys for leaving comments, letting me know that you wanted to see a face-off between these two brush styles. I think both of them are amazing, but they each have their own strengths. Now, the Octobrush and the Inkbrush are very different looking. If you look at them from a visual standpoint even, the Inkbrush has a more modern design. It has that tube of paint and it kind of reflects the Inkling society because it looks more modern, whereas the Octobrush is more like the Octarian society. It's got a classical samurai look to it. It's intricately carved. It looks like something that would be an antique that you wouldn't really want to smack back and forth in your enemy's face, but it works pretty well for that as well. And I think it's based off of the ukiyo-e style of ink painting. The Japanese version of this is called Hokusai, which is a famous ink artist. You've probably seen some of his paintings before, Great Wave off Kanagawa, stuff like that. So it's kind of cool that in the Japanese, the ink brush is called Pablo, like Pablo Picasso, the more, modern artist, and then the Octobrush is called Hokusai, like an old, classical Japanese artist. There you are. I knew they were back here somewhere. So yeah, the Octobrush, as it's a little out of date for this modern Inkling society, is slower. It does spread more ink, it does a bit more damage, and can shoot ink a little farther than the ink brush, but it uses a lot more, and it's a lot slower at spreading that ink. You really do guzzle a ton of ink with this guy. Let's see if I can get both of these. Here we go. Sneak around and get that roller before he gets me. That was close. We're doing good, though. Covering lots of turf. So yeah, it's a bit slower. Even the rolling speed on this guy is slower. It's faster than any of the other rollers, though. Even the carbon roller, you can see, you can still pretty much zip around anywhere you want and get away from your enemies. But it's not quite as fast as the ink brush. A lot of people say that the ink brush is better for turf wars, and the Octobrush is better for ranked battle like Splat zones and tower control because it has these beacons that you can place down and your buddies can jump to them. And it also has the amazing Kraken, which makes you invisible for about 6 or 7 seconds. And every time you jump, of course, you get to splat your buddies or your opponents. They're not your buddies. They're guys you're going against. All right, there's that carbon roller again. I'm going to try to get him. You can see the carbon roller is still pretty fast, but not quite as fast as my good old Octobrush here. There we go. Get him. All right, they just got their special, so that was close. Oh, that's another guy. Okay, I was going to say, that's another Octobrush there. There we go. We're doing pretty good. A little nervous here, trying to face down all these guns, but we can get away if we just ink. If you're in trouble with either of the brushes, make sure you just kind of jump and or roll yourself away. There we go. Got him. Look out for that sniper, though. They can get us still. There we go. Good finish, and I think we took that first match. But yeah, as far as sub and special, I do think the Kraken and the Squid Beacons make for a more aggressive style with the Octobrush, and the Inkbrush is more for turf with that Sprinkler and Ink Strike. There we go. We had 2 Octobrushes on the team to ink it up, and we were on the top with 11 splats, 0 deaths. Good way to start. Let's do another battle. So even though the Octobrush rolls a bit slower than the Inkbrush, it spreads a bit wider, almost as wide as a roller, so I think it's a little better for that purpose, but it's not as easy to get away when you're trying to dart away, which is mainly what I use the rolling for with the brushes. I'm not usually zipping around trying to cover ink that way, since flicking the brush is a lot more effective to spread this. And I think this is a great version of the Inkbrush to use on this map, Moray Towers, one of the newest ones, because these beacons will help you in a map that is so spread out. I like to put one over here, kind of hide one behind the box if we can. Gotta get my ink up. Now that is the big problem with this brush that I think a few people that are Inkbrush fans like better with the original, because it uses way less ink than the Octobrush, and I think if you have a few, I've got some ink refill abilities. I need to get some ink saver main abilities though, and that would help out a little bit more. But yeah, you can recharge pretty quick if you have a few abilities to help you out. The big problem though is just being careful to make sure you have ink when you're in an enemy encounter, because they can take you down pretty easily if you're not careful, or if you just fall off the edge. Tried to, jump up there and swat him with the brush, but didn't quite get over that ledge in time. That's all right, we can get our Kraken again. I had that all ready to go. We're doing pretty good though. I think they are pushing in, but we're doing all right too. This is a good spot for a Beakon here, because next to this little Squid that seems like he's very critical of everything you're doing. But yeah, the Beakons there are pretty helpful because they can allow you to jump up and get down. There we go. And there's a third one. There we are. Almost got the hat trick there for the team. But yeah, the Beakon's hidden there. A lot of people don't know where that spot even is on the map, so they're gonna have a hard time finding it. I know I initially did, because I wasn't as familiar with the map when it first came out. All right, let's rush in. This is where I could use this to kind of clean up a few little spots, get into a good point here so I can like hide a little bit, and then once they come in, this is one of my favorite spots to hide on the enemy base, because it gives you a good chance to let your buddies jump to you, and you're a little safer. You can hear the traffic, which is cool, one of the features of this map. And then, look out, oh, that's Kraken, because I ran out of ink. See if we can get both of these guys, but they're pushing me to the limit here, jumping off. We're just gonna hide a little bit there. But yeah, I do really love both the ink brush and the Octobrush, but as of now, I'm kind of more of a fan of the Octobrush because of that increased range and increased damage. I think it really helps out, especially against a lot of players using those shooters like the arrow spray and the end zap, some of the ones that maybe don't have really good range, but have enough that make it so difficult to hit with the ink brush. It can be really tough to get in, and especially when you have to, swat your brush 4 or 5 times to get a splat. The Octobrush is nice that you don't have to flick it as much, even if it is slower. We've almost got the good old Kraken ready. Let's jump up and get this guy. There we go. See, some of this, I would not be getting a lot of these splats if I was not using the Octobrush because of the range, but there we go. I don't know if we did die on that one, I think because I fell off the edge, but we still won. They even ink striked right near their spawn as a good how do you do to end it off. All right, let's do one more here. So to finish up, we're gonna try to answer the big question, which brush is best? And to get the full picture, I'm gonna do an ink brush analysis companion video, so definitely check that out. But the short and quick answer is that it really does depend on the playstyle of the Squid kid holding the weapon. I know when the ink brush was initially shown in trailers and in the Splatoon Direct, a lot of players were really excited to try it out. I was definitely one of them. It looked so cool, you could zip around faster than the other rollers, and it had this crazy, flicking, aggressive style that no other weapon seems to really have. Now, once players got their hands on it, a little bit after Splatoon's release, a lot of people were kind of disappointed. They wrote it off after trying it because, unlike most of the other weapons in the game, you have to tap constantly to attack with this one, and it has very short range. You're constantly trying to hit your opponent more, and a lot of weapons just fire very fast anyways, so you can have a tough time competing with the others in the game. But that's not to say I don't think other players will enjoy it, and the way that I recommend trying it out if you haven't yet is just go for the Octobrush, because if you are not a big fan of the ink brush, the Octobrush solves a lot of those problems. You can do a lot of damage and do a lot of ink spread without having to tap that much. You do more damage in ink spread, in fact, than the ink brush. It does use a lot more ink, and it guzzles it down pretty quickly, but it's definitely a good weapon for beginners because, like the Kraken Splat Roller, you can just use the Kraken to get out of people's way, and you're helping your team out with your Beakons. It's definitely a good team weapon to have on your side. We can get this guy without using the Kraken. There we go. Got it saved up, and I'm ready. Got to push in when we see the opportunity. Go get that and get out. Look out. Gotta make sure they're not trying to get around the sides either, because I know they got that yellow ink here. But yeah, we'll have more on the ink brush when we do our other video here. Somebody left a mine for me. That guy's got special, but I'm gonna try to catch up to him in time. Here he goes. Getcha. Little football head. There we go. All right. But yeah, the Octobrush is probably my new favorite here, and it can even battle the Kraken a little bit if you're quick enough. Couldn't tap there fast enough. It does take a bit of finesse. And again, if you're using the Kraken, you kind of have to out-strategize the other players. You need to be stealthy a little bit if you want to sneak up on them. Definitely jump a lot. Most guns you should be jumping because you'll get increased range and it'll make you a harder target to hit. But we'll have more Inkbrush tips in the companion episode here. For now, we are hopefully gonna win this match. Let's see. Get this guy. That was close. Gotta get up top and ink it up. Go, go, go. Oh, jeez. That's ours, luckily. And in the midst of it, I was able to Kraken through. They didn't even see me coming. All right, we're doing well. Got more points, but this can shift at any time in Splat zones. All right, I'm gonna lay down some beacons while everyone's respawning from that assault. And hopefully, okay, football heads out. Gotta be careful. I know there's a dynamo that's got so much range. You gotta look out for that. The dynamo is probably the most popular of the rollers right now, so definitely look out for those. But you can out-tap them if you can, you know, sneak around them. The dynamo has almost as much range as the chargers, which is crazy. I think if any weapon is gonna get nerfed, it'll probably be the dynamo, but we'll see here. We haven't gotten any weapon nerfs so far. Get him, get him, get him. There we go. Yeah, if you can time it also when the Kraken's running out, of course, you can take him out that way. It's a little easier. Let's get this guy and his buddy. Oh, that was my friend. Okay. Got a samurai on my side. Go, go, go. All right, we're doing well. Taking the zones. Go, go, go. Get them both. Yeah, we've got a lot of points, but this can go either way. Hopefully we can hold out. I like putting these beacons behind here because unless they ink strike, they're kind of tough to hit from their side. And it'll help my buddies get in, jump over to this, and then if I can land on it, I'll just put in a beacon there. But I got shot. I don't know if they're gonna bother, but I could jump back to that beacon if they don't see it. Yeah, they didn't even bother with it and get right into the zone. Let's see if this will work, guys. It's kind of a risky strategy. Turn around and brush, 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 brush. Oh, look out. Got the ink mine there. That was trouble. Okay, we survived. Somehow we survived. And we've got the zones. I'm gonna try to make this a little tougher for them to get over here. This isn't turf wars, but yeah, it really does, in the end, come down to whether you got those fresh skills or not. You can use any weapon and be successful. It's just whether you can practice with it and get good. So you can use the Inkbrush in ranked, and you can use the Octo in turf wars, and the subs and specials will help you out either way. Thank you guys for watching. Please leave a like if you enjoyed this. And do look forward to that Inkbrush analysis. We'll have a, not definitive, but at least my opinion word on which one is better once we've played a bit with both of them. I'll see you guys then, though, for some more Splatoon.